All right, West Morris Central High School, Matt Ferreri, Director of School Counseling, here today speaking with RaeAnn Topa, Admissions Counselor at Arcadia University. RaeAnn, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you, and really appreciate you taking the time to speak to our students and families about the opportunities at Arcadia University. So, why don't we start just there? Tell us a little bit about Arcadia.
Yeah, Arcadia is a smaller liberal arts school. We're located about 20 minutes north of Philadelphia in a town called Glenside, Pennsylvania. One of students' favorite elements of campus is our castle. That's kind of our icon. Um, as I said, we're close to Philly, so students have the freedom to venture into the city, but we're also surrounded by a lot of really great little communities. With about 1,800 undergraduate students, students get a lot of really great one-on-one opportunities and really great networking options with their professors and within their professors' networks and opportunities like that.
Great. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to be on campus a couple times, as we were saying, as we were talking before we started the interview. A couple of student athletes of mine wound up going to Arcadia and play soccer, and the castle is impressive. It is impressive. It is. What's actually housed in the castle?
So I'm actually in the castle right now, but the castle is event space on the first floor. The second floor is office space, and then the third floor is first year student dorming.
First, oh, so they have students living in there now.
Yeah, the rooms in the castle are really interesting. They range from 3 to 7 students. So the 7 student rooms are absolutely massive, but it takes a really specific type of student to kind of be there and thrive. The students who'd rather study outside their room and are okay with late nights and stuff like that. But the students who do live in the castle always make their own really great little community.
Neat, neat. And if I remember correctly, truth to remember that sometimes couples that meet at Arcadia wind up getting married in the castle after graduation, or sometimes on the road. Do you hold weddings in the castle?
Yeah, we hold a bunch of different events in the castle. We use it as often as possible. We actually have some members of our staff who met when they were students here and took their engagement photos here. They didn't get married here, though.
Okay. All right. Very neat. So look, there's obviously much more to Arcadia than the castle. Tell us a little bit more about the campus. Give us a feel for the culture there at Arcadia University.
Yeah, so the campus is kind of interesting in its architecture. We're situated around Haber Green, which is a really great common space. On any nice day, there's students out there with picnic blankets, and the professors will bring their dogs to campus. We were the Harrison family's estate, so buildings like the Castle and Screw-ins Hall are pretty old, but then we have a lot of new architecture around that. As I said, focused around Haber Green, it kind of is a way to bring students together. Um, yeah. In terms of student life, we have over 60 clubs and organizations. That is a number that keeps growing because it's super easy for students to get new clubs up and running. We have everything from a spike ball team to an ultimate frisbee team. Pre-med student society, public health student society. One of our new clubs, which is my favorite one to talk about, is the Taylor Swift Student Society. They were a really big hit at the club fair this past month. But in terms of athletics, we are a Division III school with over 26 sports teams. Some of our newer teams are track and field and men's and women's ice hockey.
Nice. I didn't realize there were so many Swifties on campus, so that's that's good to hear. Um, so tell us a little bit about the academics at Arcadia. Essentially, like, what are your top programs? If I'm a student and I want to major in this, Arcadia is the place for me. What would you say?
Yeah, so on campus, we have four kind of academic undergraduate schools, and our top majors are spread across all four of them. Our top two majors are bio and psych, and then business, visual and performing arts, and education. So students have a really wide range of options when they come to Arcadia. I will say that the reason that bio is so large, and it's large by a lot, is because of a lot of really great pre-professional tracks where students will major in bio on the pre-PA track, the pre-PT track, or pre-med. Um, Students who are not as interested in the hard science may go the psych route on those pre-professional tracks. But as I said, business, visual and performing arts, and education round out our top five. So, a lot of really awesome opportunities. All of those programs allow students to capitalize on our location, um, making really great connections within the Glenside area, but also Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot of great internship opportunities, right, for students in
Absolutely.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I remember when I was there, and it's been a while, but study abroad was a pretty big part of the student experience there. I don't know if it was required then, but it seemed like everybody did it. Can you talk to a little bit about the study abroad opportunities at your school?
Yeah, Arcadia has been ranked number one in study abroad for 10 of the last 12 years. It is not required overall. There are a couple majors that do require a semester abroad, but about 76% of our students do go abroad during their time with us.
Wow.
We have programs that range from 1 week, like our preview program for first years, all the way up to an entire year. Um, we also have a special admissions program that allows students to do a full semester abroad within their first year. Students study in London. Um, from there on out, students have kind of free reign of where they would like to go. They work with someone in our Office of Global Engagement to pick the right location and the right time for them to go.
Neat. Yeah, just great opportunities for students looking to get out in the world and to do work there. That's awesome. Um, so tell us a little bit. You talk to us about the culture of the school. You give us a little bit of a feel of the academics. Um, so if I want to go to Arcadia, talk to us. Listen, there's a difference between sticker price, right, and actual paid price. Can you give us any insight into the financial piece there at Arcadia?
Yeah, so that sticker price comes in at about $60,000 a year. It's about 46,000 in tuition and then 14,000 in room and board. But of course, absolutely no one is paying that. Our merit scholarships are based off of a student's application, and they range from about $15,000 renewable for all 4 years to $30,000. Um, and all that a student has to do for those scholarships is apply. That is a decision that's made by our admissions office before a student even kind of gets handed over to financial aid. And then our financial aid team works with, if a student decides to submit FAFSA or any of that information, to create the best package possible for them. Being a smaller school, students have access to their financial aid counselor from the point of their application.
Great. Yeah, and I think that's a key thing for people to when they're looking at Arcadia is the size, right? And knowing you're going to get that personal experience is very important to a lot of people. So, what type of student are you typically accepting there at Arcadia? What does the academic profile look like?
Yeah, so we have a holistic review process. So we're looking at a student's grades, of course, but also the types of courses that they're taking, kind of their range of difficulty and things like that. We're considering the background of the high school. Some high schools historically have a more difficult curriculum, even at a college prep through an IB or AP level. We're looking at your letter of recommendation, anything that you provide us on the Common App. And then the two pieces that aren't required but are very heavily recommended with us are an essay and a resume. And the sections on the Common App are just fine. We're not looking for anything extra. Within your resume, tell us what you do when you're not in class. Are you on the soccer team? Are you in the drama club? Do you have a part time job? Anything that's really taking up your time, anything you're passionate about. And then within the essay, just tell us something about you that we wouldn't know from looking at the application. The essay gives students a chance to make themselves really stand out. So we really support students in using that opportunity. All of that gets then factored into their application decision and their merit scholarship.
Great. And so you mentioned the background of the high school and AP and IB courses. So we're in a IB World School, right? We have the diploma program, career related program. Can you give a little bit more detail how that would factor into an admissions decision for a student?
Yeah, so we are well aware that those IB courses are very challenging courses. So when students apply to us and they have those IB courses on their transcript, we're definitely going to extend some credit for the hard work that that student put in college, and that is going to be a factor within their merit scholarship. And then we accept IB credits as a school. We have a really great breakdown of them on our website of just what students can expect to receive credit for with their IB scores.
Okay, thank you. So you already touched upon the essay a little bit, an opportunity for students to stand out a little bit, right? Share something that doesn't come across in the application. Okay. Are there pitfalls that students should avoid in the essay that you could share with us? Things that you've seen when reviewing essays that, don't do this. Maybe that could help direct students a little bit.
My number one kind of tip is don't include the name of a school that you are going to send your application to in your essay, or the name of a specific program, because some students call things a little bit differently. And I think that's my number one tip. But just think about what makes you unique. If you're on a sports team or in a club, think about the one aspect that makes you different than everyone else on your team. Everyone can write an essay about winning. Everyone on your team can write an essay about winning the championship. But what happened to you in the 2 hours before the championship game? How did that affect you?
Mhm.
That will make you stand out a little bit.
Great. And you had mentioned letters of recommendation. So when students are considering teachers or what teachers to ask for letters, if I want to major in science, do I need to get two science teachers, or should I get someone from English so you can see the other end of the spectrum? What do you recommend to students when they're trying to decide what teachers to ask?
I will say that we don't really have a very large focus on this student is science, so we need to see a letter from a science teacher. We just really value letters where the teacher or counselor knows that student very well. The more specific information a teacher or counselor can provide us about a student, the better the recommendation is in our eyes.
Okay, great. One of the more recent trends in college admissions has been this demonstrated interest, right? Students getting to campus, showing genuine interest in the school, and that being a factor in the admissions decision. Do you weigh demonstrated interest in your admissions decisions?
Yeah, that's not something that we do very heavily. We definitely value it from a student's perspective, but we also recognize that not all students have the ability to get to campus before submitting an application and things like that. So we would never want to negatively view a student because of that.
Great. So, essay, resume, letters of recommendation, anything else that you would say a student should do in the process to help themselves stand out?
Yeah, if a student, I mean, we did just talk about demonstrated interest, but if a student has any questions, just reaching out to us via email, even if I'm not the right person to answer, it's my goal to make sure that they get the right answer, make sure that they find the right fit, whether that be with us or not. So, definitely reach out if they have any questions, from admissions to financial aid, through all of our departments. Everyone wants to be here to answer students' questions. So,
And the preference is to hear from the students, not the parents, right?
absolutely.
Okay. I get it. It's hard as a parent. I get it. It's hard, but certainly we want to try to, as much as possible, let the students be in the driver's seat of this process. Good. Hey, listen, a lot of good information here. So I would just ask two more questions of you. One, is there anything else about Arcadia that you'd like us to know that you haven't shared with us already? And two, is there any advice you would offer to students just starting out in the college search or college application process that they should really, listen to?
Okay, I will say Arcadia actually just relaunched our website on Monday. So everything is very new and very much up to date. So that is a great place for students to find any more information about us or contact anyone from any area of campus who they would like to hear from. And just as that process is starting, don't hesitate to reach out. We are all here to support students in the best ways that we can. So the more a student lets us know what questions they have, the better we can help out.
Okay. RaeAnn, really appreciate you taking the time today and telling us a little bit about Arcadia. Again, it's a school I've had the pleasure of being on campus a couple times, and I know it's a good fit for a lot of our students. So we look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.